Greetings, fellow Whovians. Well, hoping a much better week than I am, but whatever. So today, we're going to continue our look at the Fourth Doctor era, and also the first chapter of the E-Space trilogy, Full Circle. So, here we go. Onward to Gallifrey to return Romana to the High Council of the Time Lords, the TARDIS passes through a phenomenon and ends up in an alternative universe called E-Space. Neither Doctor nor Romana herself can calculate why the TARDIS scanner shows images of their planet when they have arrived in a verdant forest. It later emerges that they have journeyed to this pocket universe through a rare space-time phenomenon known as a charged vacuum emboitment. Okay then. Nearby is a small but sustainable civilization of humanoids who live between a river and a grounded spaceship called the Starliner. They come to the planet, Alzarius, from Pterodon, and much of the focus of society is on repairing their craft to make it navigable once more. It is an oligarchy ruled by 3 self-selecting senior colonists known as Deciders, who ensure the smooth running and order of their adopted world and lay particular store on technical ability. One of the brightest of the younger generation of colonists is Adric, who bears a badge of mathematical excellence and recognition of his computational skills. However, his brother Varsh has rejected the regimented society of the Starliner and leads a band of rebels called Outlers, who steal harvested river fruit and other foods to survive. Boo! All is not well in the colony. Strange eggs have started to appear in the river fruit, and this is interpreted by First Decider Draith using the system file of the Starliner as an omen of mistfall, a strange periodic change to the planet during which the natural balance of society is threatened. Soon mistfall begins, and the colonists move into the Starliner to protect themselves. Adric attempts to steal some river fruit to prove himself to his brother. Draith gives chase to his young protege but falls and lands in the river, only to be dragged beneath the waves by a strange force. His last words are aimed at the chief scientist of the colony. "Tell Dexter we've come full circle. And we have our title, ladies and gentlemen." Adric heads into the forest in panic, finding the TARDIS. The Doctor and Romana take him in and tend to his leg wound, which recovers remarkably quickly. The Doctor heads off to investigate the planet, while Adric attracts Varsh and the other Outlers to the protection of the TARDIS. Why would you do that? The other Deciders, Gareth and Nefred, have ordered the Starliner doors closed as per procedure, knowing that both Draith and Kiara, an outlier and the daughter of a prominent citizen called Logan, have not entered the ship. Despite his worries, Logan accepts a position as third Decider when it's determined that Draith has died. How exactly do you determine that someone has died? I mean, really? Well then. It is as well the doors have been closed. Human and aggressive marshmen begin to appear from underwater, looking threatening, and sculling marsh spiders hatch from the eggs of the river fruit. The marshmen beat on the walls of the Starliner to gain entry, but the creatures are not admitted. The Doctor, however, gains entry to the Starliner using a sonic screwdriver, followed by a young and inquisitive Marsh child. Both are found in Tega before the 3 Deciders. The Doctor is appalled when Chief Scientist Dexter starts to perform vivisection experiments on the Marsh child. Yeah, that's really not something you want to do, especially if they're, still alive! A group of Marshmen have carried the TARDIS to a settlement cave, intending to use it as a battering ram to force their way into the Starliner. You do know that the TARDIS is probably extremely heavy, so how are you able to do something like that? Romana decides to venture outside. She is bitten by one of the marsh spiders and starts to change, seeming possessed. Adric panics and materializes the TARDIS inside the Starliner. How are you able to do that? When the Outlers emerge, the Doctor pilots the TARDIS back into the cave and finds an allured but amnesiac Romana. Uh-oh, that's not good. The Doctor scoops up the remains of a marsh spider and then reverses his journey once more with Adric and unconscious Romana in tow. By the time he is back in the Starliner, however, Dexter, sorry, I thought it was Dexter, but it's actually Dexter, has tried to examine the brain of the Marsh child, provoking it to attack and kill him and itself. The Doctor is so incensed, he turns on the Deciders and denounces their society, revealing secret ship controls that show the Starliner has been ready to pilot from Alzarius for centuries, but the farce of constant repair continued. The problem is that, though the Deciders understand the technical construction of the ship, no one knows how to pilot it. The Doctor persuades the Deciders to give him the equipment to examine the cells of the Marsh Spider and Marsh Child, and deduces that they are from identical DNA sources. The situation is complicated, however, when a transformed Romana releases the emergency exits and allows the Marshmen to evade the Starliner. The colonists retreat before the creatures, many of whom are more inquisitive than dangerous. Nefred is mortally wounded and while fleeing one room. His last admission is that the colonists cannot return to Pterodon because they have never been there. It is realized that the present-day Alzarians are actually subspecies of the Marshmen, who wiped out the Starliner's original Pterodonian crew, and then gradually evolved into human form to take their place. Huh, that's interesting, but I'm pretty sure that's not how evolution works. Or maybe it is, who knows. The Doctor uses a protein serum to cure Romana, and they determine from research in the ship's science unit that the ship has been maintained for 40,000 generations by a species that has three aspects: spiders, marshmen, and the current humanoids. They are all from the same DNA, and thus have come full circle. Wow, and again we have our title, ladies and gentlemen. This is the real secret of the system files. Yeah, but it's not a secret anymore now that you know it. It's accidentally deduced that oxygen in its pure form is problematic to the Marshmen, and this non-lethal defense is used to force the Marshmen out of the Starliner. During the retreat, Varsh is killed, leaving Adric in emotional turmoil. With the Marshmen returning to the swamps, the boy stows away on board the TARDIS. His fellow colonists meanwhile pilot the craft away from Alzarius. The Doctor and Romana are unaware of Adric's presence as they leave the planet. And of course they will be aware of the next episode, which of course we're going to look at next week. But in the meantime, let's look at some production notes here. The story was repeated on BBC One, except BBC One Wales, across 4 consecutive evenings from Monday to Thursday, the 3rd to 6th of August 1981, achieving viewing figures of 4.9, 4.2, 4.6, and 6.4 million viewers respectively. Wow! Working titles for the story included The Planet That Slept. At the time of writing the story, Andrew Smith was a 17-year-old who achieved his lifelong ambition to write for the show. Nice. The exterior locations for Alzarius were filmed at Black Park in Buckinghamshire. Interesting. So overall, as the first part of the Space Trilogy, this episode is not all that bad. Except, of course, for Adric. So, yeah. So overall, it's a good episode nonetheless, and I can't fault it for that. So, overall, I give Full Circle 3 sonic screwdrivers out of 5. Well, join me next time as we take a look at the second chapter of the Space Trilogy, State of Decay. So, until then, this is Hoovy and Queen saying, "Oh my Gideon! When I say run, run! Adverse polarity of the neutron flow. Would you like a jelly, baby? Fantastic! Allons-y! Geronimo!" Bow ties are cool, fezes are cool, and Stetsons are cool.